Alright, so this is the cabinet after I'm done. I'm just giving you a little quick glimpse of what it looks like after I finished. Then I'm going to kind of walk you through the process and a little bit about what was done. There's a video also that's just showing you, how to do it. And I'm just kind of talking you through it as I'm doing it, so you can check out that video too. So if you can want to get more information on this, it's just a narrated version showing this before and after of the cabinet. So the product I'm using on this is gel stain. There's a lot of different ones. There's to get different colors, sometimes you have to go to different manufacturers. There's Old Masters. There's Olympic, there's Minwax. I'm using Olympic and Minwax on this one, just ones I had laying around. And these cabinets were in super bad shape. They were only about 6 or 7 years old. This customer just didn't take care of them at all. When we actually worked on this house before and painted these rooms, so we kind of knew when they were done in about, I think, 2007 or something like that. So anyway, when I was just wiping it off, I tried a little bit of what they call in California paint thinner, which is supposed to be mineral spirits. Some of you guys know mineral spirits. California mineral spirits is basically acetone. So that's no problem, though. I'll be getting that fixed. And you can't even see where it was when you see the completion video. Unfortunately, the lighting is actually overlit more than what you can actually see when you're there. So a lot of things you're seeing in this video, you really can't even see them in person, but you can see them through the camera. So it's kind of weird. Because the camera is like over enhancing the lighting, and it's actually not very bright in the room. So there's a lot of stuff that you could even see in the video that you absolutely can't see in person. So anyway, just brushing on some gel stain. Wish I had a nice China bristle brush, but in California most of the China bristles are not available most places because our wonderful state has figured out that we don't need oil-based paint, which is basically not true, but they seem to think that we don't. And they've come up with some great alternative products but they don't really entirely replace oil-based. So in this type of stain, you really can't do with any kind of water base. It just doesn't work. So this is like I said, this gel stain, just going through, just giving it a quick coat. And then I'm using I have like a nylon brush. Later on you'll see, I'll just kind of chase it around. It was just a junker brush that I was going to throw away anyway. So I just didn't feel like cleaning it. Wasn't worth cleaning, and I didn't want to use one of my better brushes because I had a few good brushes, but I don't have any really kind of mediocre brushes that I wanted to use and throw away. Or use and wash, because once you use it with oil, then going back to water base, it just doesn't, the brush just never works anymore. It doesn't hold paint properly. So I usually will just use them for stain only, and I don't really have that much stain stuff to do right now. But there's a lot of things you can do with this gel stain. It's a transparent oil base. It's almost like using paint, because you can use it right over something, over cleaned and sanded polyurethane or lacquer, and it'll adhere to it, and you can let it dry, and it will actually dry, where like a typical oil-based stain will soak in, but if it doesn't soak in, it won't dry, and it'll be kind of sticky on the surface. And then there's a lot of guys that don't think that it'll ever dry underneath. I'm not sure if it will or not, but I usually make it work out if I use regular stain, but the gel stain just makes it a whole lot easier. So anyway, I'm tired. Been working all day today. So anyway, I'm just working my way through the process, kind of showing you that I can use a roller. I can also use a brush to do this. You know, you can use a Slim Jim roller and kind of drag it over the surface. You can also use a rag. You can do anything you want. Depends on what you're trying to do. So basically, you're trying to faux finish the wood grain back into it, and it actually came out really nice. If you look at the end, the video at the end just shows a little more detail of what it looked like. And I've done this so many times. You know, I wasn't looking for a 10 out of 10. I was just kind of looking for a, you know, 7 or 8. You know, and just enough because the house is for sale. We just wanted to get it to the point where somebody else could buy it. You know, the customer was very happy. So if you see the staining there, it's just, they just let water get on there. And of course, actually they state, so the customer is not there anymore. But the state people were very happy with it, and they just want to get the house sold. So we did the outside of this house in another video. We're back to the interior, and of course we're going to make it look really good. We're doing some other extra little things for them too, some light fixture changing and stuff like that, just to kind of help out. But it's it's a pretty rough cabinet, and when it's done, it looks great. It looks acceptable. Most people coming to buy it are going to think it's a new cabinet or almost new cabinet. The tops of them, I could have just sanded them down a little bit, got a little nicer. I didn't really care. Like I said, I was just trying to clean it up enough to make it work. Those top edges didn't look the greatest. All I didn't do is just take a piece of 80 grit and just kind of sand them a little bit, gel stain over it. It looked perfect. You wouldn't even see it. So the thing is, when you're doing this, if you use lacquer instead of using polyurethane, it's sometimes a little spray can lacquer. You can, a cabinet with this much detail, if you tried to brush this, it'd be a mess. You'd have runs everywhere. So either you're going to spray it with polyurethane, if the customer was going to be living there that made this mess, then maybe polyurethane would last a little bit longer on it, and it would have lasted a little bit longer because it will withstand the water a little bit more than lacquer does. But since maybe someone's going to take care of it from now on, I don't know, and we don't really care, we're going to go ahead and just give it a coat of lacquer and maybe 1 or 2 coats of this spray can lacquer, which is really high grade spray can lacquer. It's not just like your regular Deft or something like that. I don't usually use the Deft one because it has so much retarder in the spray cans that it's just really irritating slow. And the reason I want to use a spray can lacquer is because the limited amount of potential overspray sticking to things. Lacquer dries so fast, typically even the overspray doesn't stick to like even the tile or the kitchen or the counters above it, and it's just kind of a quick cleanup type of way to do this. So like I said, I'm using the gel stain, working my way around, doing the legs, doing the inside of the cabinet, and honestly, when I got done, you couldn't see any of it. Everything looked pretty well done, even though you happen to see in the video there looks like there's some voids, some areas. Again, like I said, you cannot see that in person. In the video you can see it, but not when you're right next to it. It's so much darker. It's over enhanced. So I mean, right there you can't see anything. It looks perfect. So anyway, I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of this. Basically, at the end, this is the stain on there, and I was going to do the inside after this. But basically, at the end, you can, if you want to skip that at any point, you can go ahead and check out that finished product, and I'm sure you'll like it. It looks pretty nice. So I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what this cabinet looked like after. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Looks alright. Just put a couple coats of lacquer on it and cleans it up. Those spray cans actually work really well if you get the Valspar, the good spray can. Let me get this here so you can focus. I can't. I lost my focus there. So hardly can see any of this water damaged area. In fact, it's a little darker in here than it is in the video. So, but yeah, that's what it looks like after it's done. Shut this down. Take a look at it again. Yep. Got rid of all that stuff. Alright, talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.